Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome. And thank you for joining us on this glorious evening as we embark on our journey on the road to glory.
What's up, party people of the SFL? What's up, party people of the LSG? What's up, party people all over the globe, all over the nation, wherever you're, tuning in from, whatevs. Welcome. Glad to see you. Welcome to ride number 6 on the road to glory. A tiny, tiny little, what do you call that, disclaimer before the show. I haven't had any alcohol since about the 2nd of January, and I had a bunch tonight. It says I'm not brooded, bro. I am muted myself. Why is Alienation telling me I'm muted? Can you guys hear me? Alienation, I think you're fucking muted, bro. Or low volume? Let me see. Let me check my mic, yo. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. My mic sounds nice. Check 2. Is that better? You were brooded, bro. Hey, Pseudo Nakai in the house. What's up? You know the mic. Check 1, check 2. Hey, is that better? I did turn my mic down. I didn't realize it was that low. Is that better there, Alienation? There we go. All right, just a small little disclaimer. I've had no alcohol since the beginning of January. January 2nd to be exact. Thank you, baby. Pink Lisa in his house. I had alcohol tonight. So there you go. There's your precursor to how this show's going to go. Another precursor to how this show's going to go is me introducing my co-host, my good friend, and the owner of the Lone Star Glory, Mr. Charles Doherty. Charles, what's up? How's it going? Are you also drinking this evening?
I had a drink, but I'm not going to talk about it all night.
Wait, what do you mean you're not going to talk about it all night?
No, I had a drink, and that's it.
Oh, that's it. You had a drink?
I don't know. Maybe.
You know what? I'm going to go with that.
Dinner.
I'm going to go with that. I also had a drink. Let's do that. All right, that sounds good. Let me. I don't know. What should we do, Charles? Should we talk about what is the next exciting item in the Lone Store? Or should we hit the chat first? What do you think we should do first?
Chat, and then I vote chat, and then the store.
You want to hit the chat first? All right, let's
hit
all right,
you gotta say hi to the party people.
All right, first person in is the lovely, amazing, perfect Pink Lisa in the house. I see Packer Fred. I see Nate Hall. I see the Bullet. I see Frank the Franchise Wade. I see Alien Nation. I see Pseudo Nakai, Kendra Hall. Did I say Frank the Franchise Wade already? Albert Begin. Art Vandalay, the Greg Soto. I'm trying to see these in order, but not as easy as you would think. I'll hit the chat again here in a little bit because I feel like I'm repeating names. And yes, baby, you were first. You're always first when it comes to me. Charles, I gotta tell you. You know, we've got the Lone Store, right? The Lone Store, it's really been popping. It's been doing great.
On fire, bro.
I love how I'm assuming it's mostly Lone Star people that are buying the product, obviously, but it's been doing really well. And each week we kind of, highlight a certain article of clothing or whatever. We've done the bucket hat, we've done the beanie, what have you. I think this might be our best one yet. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is, this particular person on Lone Star is a superstar. I mean, his popularity has grown leaps and bounds. I mean, his voice just, soothes everyone.
I agree with
ear that listens to him.
Yeah.
He's a superstar. I mean, and I have the pleasure to say I knew him before he became a superstar.
Well, let's talk. Let's go ahead and break that down a little more. And let's go ahead and bring up who we're talking about and what we're talking about. Sorry, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff here that's in the way on the graphics. Sorry. We don't need the intro video. I don't think we need that shit anymore. I don't think we need the welcome. And there it is, folks. Fab 56 Freddy apparel is for sale. It is in the Lone Store. As you see the web address to the right, turn out the lights, the party's over. The man, the myth, the legend, the voice of the end of every single show that we do, Charles, is none other than Fab 56 Freddy.
So he has quite the following, and he does bar mitzvahs, he does birthdays, anniversaries. And in this particular shot, I think he's in Vegas in a lounge, and the most impressive thing is he's wearing a coat, but he has the Fab 56 T-shirt underneath.
He does have the Fab 56.
He is representing.
He does. And then for those of you who can't see the rest of the shirt because the jacket's blocking it, it actually says, "Turn out the lights, the party's over," with a picture of Fab 56 Freddy, who's about to turn your lights out. And I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, Charles. I think it's one of my favorite designs. The whole Fab 56 Freddy is bomb.
He has become a legend in many leagues. The SFL is only one of them. I mean, it's like universal.
He is universal.
He is like the Thanos of simulation.
That's what it is. Fab 56
Don't let him snap
Thanos.
his fingers.
Fab 56 Thanos. Oh, I see Gunny just jumped in. Good to see you. So for those of you who are interested, go ahead and go to thelonestar.myspreadshop.com. You can hit up all of the Fab 56 Freddy, turn out the lights, the party's over gear. But now moving on, Charles, looking at our schedule, listen, we've had a pretty tough schedule. If you look at the first half of our schedule, London, D.C., Mexico City, Baltimore, four out of our first 6 games against great teams. I think 5 of those 6 were playoff teams from last season. We'll get into our week 6 game here in a little bit. But the schedule, and I don't want to talk trash, right? I don't want to say some teams are harder than others and some teams are easier than others. But when you have expectations for a season of which teams will do better than others, and then you look at your schedule, you think some games are harder than others, right? As you look at our schedule, I feel like the top row is harder than the bottom row. Of course, we still have Mexico City, Vancouver in the bottom row. LA, I believe, was a playoff team last season. Portland was on the cuff, not doing so great this season, but San Diego doing much better. As you look at the season broken up in 2 halves on the screen right now, would you agree or disagree with me? The first half of the season coming out the gate for Lone Star, a little brutal, bro.
Just looking at the schedule before the season started, I would say it was the first half versus the second half was pretty easy. I'm not going to say what teams, but there were 4 teams that I picked as really tough on the first half and 4 on the second half.
Okay.
Again, I'm not going to name the teams. I don't want any bulletin board material for them, but yeah.
Well, we have a first-time chat, JW Coachman 64. Welcome to the show.
Mateo Pravado.
Is it really?
It is.
Welcome,
my buddy
Mateo.
From 7th grade.
Good to see you, buddy. That bumps our viewership into the 20s. What do you know about that?
I dared him to show up, and he did.
Really? You should dare him every week. You should dare him every Wednesday. I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Charles, because you know what? Tonight, I don't care, bro. I'm just going to say whatever I want to say.
This is the night to go out on a limb, man.
It is. And I'm going to go on a limb. Listen, you know, we had some haters at the beginning of the season. We had some people.
You did?
We had several.
Okay.
And I actually have a list. Greg Soto has a list of people. I literally have it. I have it pinned of people who thought we were going to go anywhere from 2 to 10 to 3 and 9, 4 and 8. When I looked at the schedule, and maybe I'm being a little too diva, but I thought I saw 8 and 4, maybe even 9 and 3 if the chips fell our way in our future. Now, I expected us to split with Mexico City. It just would make sense if we're going to play them twice. Maybe we lose at Mexico City. They lose to our place. We played them really close this past week, which we'll talk about more here later in the show. But as you look at the schedule, I'm seeing 3-4 losses, maybe 5 if we're lucky. I don't know where these 2 and 10 and 3 and 9 predictions came from, bro.
No, I mean, you know, it's. I don't know what was in the head of the folks that were making predictions, but I'm looking at the schedule, and we're obviously doing better than what most of the people were predicting. So
yeah, I'm about ready to bring our panel in for for this evening. But as I look at it, I'm looking at London is tough only because I think London before the season only lost like 2 home games in 2 seasons or something, right? DC up and coming, of course. Mexico City is always tough. Baltimore, the reigning champs, 2 of the last 3 seasons. Vancouver's always tough, and then you got Mexico City again. You know, you're looking at almost half the schedule that's going to be tough anyway. So I could see even the people who said we're going to go 6-6, right? You figure out you're going to lose some of those ones you think you're going to win. You're going to win some, you're going to lose, whatever. But the 2-10, the 3-9, I just don't get it. But and we can talk about that at exhaustion later. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and introduce our panel for tonight. Our Lone Star peeps in the house, starting in the red corner. In the red corner, weighing in at 165 pounds. I don't even know, bro. 5'8". I don't fucking know. It's Nate Hall. Nate, how tall are you? How much do you weigh, bro?
I'm about 5'11" and 230 right
You're
now.
5'11"?
Yeah.
Dude, you didn't feel that. You didn't seem like you were that tall when I visited.
Definitely am.
I must feel like I'm a lot taller than I really am.
I don't know if you saw in chat, but the missus is already trying to talk smack, and I had to shoot that down real quick.
Well, let's see. Let's take a look. Kendra Hall says pink.
Notice he said the missus because he can't say the name because we have to drink.
Yes, or else we all have to drink, and I think I've had enough to drink tonight already. Kendra says I can't see the numbers. That one, I'm ready for week 12. Oh, you better be ready for week 12. You might want to start planning now there, Kendra Hall, because I heard.
Well,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
She got the wrong week, so I had to correct her, and she's like,
I'm looking at it. I'm like, week 12. I'm ready for week 12 too because it's a bye, and I'm going to be drinking even more. So I don't understand her rationale behind that statement. How about this? How about you worry more about week 10 when I have personal documented emails from Bo Martin Jr. saying he's going to shut Kendra down. So,
ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And no, I won't show any proof because I still have to write them up and make them up before the end of the show. All right, let's move on to in the blue corner. I've tried to weigh him in before, and that did not go so well. But he is coming off of a bad. Wait a minute. I didn't mean that the way it sounded. Wait a minute. I meant the first time he was on the show, I tried to say it, and I didn't know what to say is what I meant, Charles. Jeez, I'm always getting so much shit.
I tried to weigh him in.
But, the scale only went up to... Anyway. In addition to some... Tried to go serious just for a moment here.
Yeah, that didn't work out well.
Yeah, we try to be serious on this show as much as possible.
Yeah, it's wheels off tonight.
Yes, which is, and as much as possible, I mean probably 3 out of 90 minutes. As all of you know, the Begin family has actually gone through some troublesome family issues. They had a very important family member pass away within the last week and a half or so. And on top of all of that, today, Albert Begin had to go to the emergency room with some sort of back issue. But does that stop him, Charles, from coming on the Road to Glory?
I mean, L6, L5 is gone, and he's here.
It doesn't matter.
He's in a fine position, but he's ready.
That's right. It doesn't matter how many L's Albert takes. He's going to be here for the show. And ladies and gentlemen, from his home, in his bed, with his coral-colored pillow, is Mr. Albert Begin. Albert, what's going on?
Nearby.
How you and Tina, I'm sure, on nurse duty, very close by. Albert, what's going on? How you doing? How you feeling, bro?
Well, the pain meds make me feel great, but besides you making me laugh my ass off, my back is just fine.
Well, you know what? You don't want to laugh your ass off because your ass kind of supports your back, and then you're gonna have all kinds of issues.
Oh, I already have issues.
Yes, you do. Yes, that's why that's why you're a part of this team, bro.
Yeah.
So, how doped up are you really? Because I kind of want to know how far I can push the envelope with you this evening.
You can probably push it. I mean, you can take me out to lunch later if you really want to.
Wait, I could take you out to lunch and what? The last part was a little fuzzy.
I'm sorry. I said if you want, you can talk whatever you want, and we can have lunch later. But
Okay.
pretty hot right now.
So what you're saying is I don't have to buy you dinner first. I just have to buy you lunch later. Is that what you're saying?
McDonald's is fine. Dollar menu. We can do this.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, folks. Here's your panel for tonight.
Show, my friend. Buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up. It's gonna be a wild ride. All right. So there's our schedule. We already talked about Freddie, and we are going to move on to the very first segment we always do. It's part of our Friends of LSG from around the SFL, which we have several of those every show. And first and foremost, out the gate, we always go to our good friend, Bullet Beletsky, to see what he has to recap our previous show. And here's the deal. A lot like Mike All's segment, I don't talk to Bullet. On Monday or Tuesday, I just get 5 or 6 bullet points from him, and they are what they are. I copy and paste them. I put them in the show, and they are what they are. So, Bullet, first of all, welcome back to the show, bro. How you been? How was your weekend?
Happy to be here, Dave. Good weekend. My wife and daughter are out of town. They actually drove from New York to Florida to visit some friends, as they do every year. So I am alone with my dog in my house for a week, and I am enjoying the silence.
I don't want to really put words in your mouth, but did you just say it's a great weekend? My wife and daughter are out of town.
I'm enjoying the silence. That is correct.
You see, Albert looks like he blinked like 20 times in 1 second when you said that. But I think that's going to have to be a bullet point next week about you talking about enjoying your home better with your wife and daughter gone, bro.
I love when they're here, but you know what? Getting a break once in a while is super too. I'm sure she feels the same way. So it works both ways.
I love when they're here, but I love even more when they're gone. All right, Bullet. Going back to ride number 5 on the road to glory last week. Bullet point number 1. What do you got for us?
Okay, this is a special one here, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so
I see my name right from the get-go.
Dave's esteemed guest and teammate Greg the Cuban Missile Soto proudly displayed his cock for the entire show. His name was Cesar Diaz. We also learned that Greg has a pig named Carlos Iglesias that he apparently likes to dress up. Greg is clearly living his best life. Salud, Greg.
There's so many disturbing things about that bullet point that I'm not even going to ask them. I'm just going to go on to bullet point number 2.
Okay, and I apologize in advance, Charles. I dinged you one time.
Dude, the more you ding Charles, the better you are in my graces anyway, so we're good.
Okay. So Charles chose to watch the end of the Lone Star game instead of helping his wife unload some groceries. Lone Star pulled out an exciting victory over Houston, and Charles was seen smiling from ear to ear as he carried his blanket, pillow, and bottle of buttery Chardonnay out to the porch where he slept for the next few nights.
Well, you know what? We happen to have the source here on the show. Charles, would you like to comment on that bullet point?
No, my wife's very forgiving, but yeah. She's a Lone Star fan. She understands.
Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, at least you had your priorities straight. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
All right, there you go. Bullet point number 3.
Okay, number 3. During the broadcast, we learned that Greg is into aggressive cuddling and that he slipped R62 a little something to look the other way on his controversial TD late in the game. Greg has proven himself to be an incredible asset to Lone Star with his willingness to go the extra mile to get the W.
Greg Soto, I saw him in the chat earlier. Greg Soto, if you would like to comment on that, we would love to hear something in the chat from you. The quote unquote, a little something and willingness to go the extra mile. Those are kind of the things I love about Greg. Go ahead. Bullet point number 4.
Okay. At the beginning of Mike All's weekly segment, there were some technical difficulties, and as Dave and Mike tried to work it out while on the air, they engaged in what can only be described as very steamy banter. When the issue was resolved and Mike finally appeared on camera, his face was flushed, he was smoking a cigarette, and there were Andy Cap cheese fries scattered all over the floor.
There were Andy Cap cheese fries scattered all over the floor. I will not dispute that whatsoever as we move on to bullet point number 5.
Okay, number 5. Late in the show, there was an unsubstantiated, and I repeat, unsubstantiated report that Nate Hall likes to LARP. And for those who don't know what that is, that's live action role play.
Is that what it is?
And That's what it is. And he participates in Renaissance fairs where he dresses up like a Viking and goes by the name of Olaf Skullcrusher Lothbrok. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Again, unsubstantiated.
Yes, I would say completely unsubstantiated, but yet we did see proof last show.
We did see a photo, so the photos
don't lie, Bullet.
I mean, it's not like it's not like anybody from Lone Star would, alter a photo just for show purposes. I mean,
we don't do that.
That's so beneath us. That's so
never.
No, I agree with you. There's a lot wrong with that, says Kendra Hall in this.
I've been trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Albert down in the bottom corner there.
I'm trying to figure out what else LARP.
Is he on a waterbed? What the hell is going on down
there? I don't know, but I swear to God, I think we have those same colored sheets, that coral color on our guest board.
Albert's having the time of his life.
He keeps moving it. Look at him. He keeps going. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is on a water. I think he is.
I feel like I
Dave,
know where I am. All right.
Hey, Dave. I vaguely remember that color, so yes, I think you're correct.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say we can either ask the Halls or the Picklers, who have both stayed at my home. Those coral colored sheets look pretty close, Nate. That's all I'm saying.
They're fashionable. I thought of you, Dave, when I bought them.
Yes, I appreciate that. Bullet, thank you as always for being part of our show, taking the time to do the bullet points, and we'll see you next week, buddy. Thank you again.
And he's on top.
You got it, Dave.
He really
doesn't miss anything.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I think, I think he dissects.
I'd love to know what he does in his real life. Is he like an auditor or something?
He's probably an investigator. I bet you. He probably works for NCIS or some shit.
Holy mackerel! IRS, Derek.
Actually, I'm a financial data manager for a very large financial services company.
That's so much worse than I was imagining.
Yeah.
Do you LARP in real life?
Wait, is that your LARP job or is that your real job?
No comment.
Well, I thought for sure you were NCIS, which, by the way, back in the day when they were investigating me was just NIS. They weren't NCIS, so I just
right.
Throw that
exactly.
out there.
I will say that my dream job when I was going to school was forensic psychologist for the FBI. That's what I wanted to do.
Bro, I can't do the forensic.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
I can't do the forensic thing, bro. I watch NCIS, and every time Ducky is in his what do you call it where the dead bodies are? What's that shit called?
Morgue.
The morgue. Bro, I got to look away. They got those bodies torn open, cut open from collarbone to belly button. It's so disgusting. I can't deal with that shit.
It's disturbing. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I get it. All right, Bullet. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Speaking of Lone Star.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Speaking of football, let's move on.
I can't get enough of looking at Albert down there.
Well, let's move on to our next segment. And I don't know. Let me see if you know what? We may have to skip this. I don't see.
Oh, God.
Ramos is not here. And we were going to talk, but I guess before we go to Ramos, what else?
Albert can play Ramos.
Can you let me see. Hold on.
Oh, well, you know what? Don't go there, please. He's got drugs in him.
I think that's the second time I text him. Let me look at it real quick.
I didn't see that.
I do not see Ramos. That's okay. I'm pretty sure we can break down this pretty crazy loss to Mexico City all by ourselves without Ramos coming in to help us. So before we do that, let's show the little intro video. Lone Star and Mexico City about to be broken down here in just a moment. Lone Star at Mexico City. Charles, Mexico City always tough. The reigning defending champion of the South Division. When I saw them on the schedule, like I mentioned earlier, I thought we would split with them, potentially lose at their place. They would lose at our place. The first part of that came true, but we almost stole a victory. We were down most of the game. We took a 28-21 late lead. They tied up 28-28 to go into overtime. And, of course, they win the coin toss, kick the field goal to win in overtime. But overall, what was your overall sense of this game, how we played, and the outcome?
It was a typical Lone Star game. We started out, we were getting a couple shots to the face, and we hung in there. We tied it up. They took a couple more shots. We came back, tied it up, went ahead. And then that last drive, they tied it up. And then I knew when they got the coin cost. The coin
cost. For those of you who thought I was drinking too much, for those of you who think I was drinking too much, go ahead and reach into your pocket, grab a quarter, and do your own coin cost at home.
No, I knew that when they got that in overtime that they were going to go down and score. I mean, they're a great team. I mean, they really are. It's tough. It's great that they're in our division and it's a battle, and I just can't wait to play them again.
Well, I appreciate that, but for some reason, my brand new Lone Star water jug here, I'm sucking, but it's not bringing the water out. Albert, here we go. LSG, baby. Albert, let me ask you. You've watched, I don't know, 6 or 7 million Sims probably over the last several seasons. As you see games that go to overtime, and again, I don't know the stats. I'm just asking. And T-Pat in the house. What's up, T-Pat? This is a classic 2K joke with its own commentary blurb. Toying cost. Yes, I agree. And T-Pat, you're gonna appreciate this question. Maybe T-Pat, you can
doing me like that.
Well, hold on. Maybe T-Pat can talk about this as well when he comes on here in a little bit.
I deserve it.
Albert,
I deserve it.
Albert, do you think, much like the NFL, that the team who wins the coin toss will score first and win the game, since there is no equal opportunity like there is in college, or like there probably will be now in the NFL? Or do you think there's more equal opportunity, and do you think there's a huge advantage to actually winning the coin toss for the overtime period?
Oh, most of the Sims that I've seen go to overtime, usually the person that wins the coin toss
Albert, come on,
wins.
I
mean, listen, I'm on the pain pills. I don't know why you're talking like
Tina,
that.
remove the bedpan.
Listen, Albert's high.
Tina, remove the bedpan.
Albert is high. I'm drunk. This is going to be.
I'm trying to focus.
Welcome to shit show number 6. That's all I'm saying.
But no, usually during Sims, once whoever wins the coin toss, I can't even say it.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, I'm about ready. I'm dropping.
Usually comes out the winner. I mean, the old rules where first score, first wins, and as long as you have a prime kicker, you stand a better chance.
Yes, and T-Pat in the chat saying oxycodone is a hell of a drug. I agree with that. Nate, let me ask you real quick. As I see, Ramo still isn't here, so we'll probably break this game down ourselves. Nate, you had to review the game. You know, you've got your top plays coming up here in a little bit. As you see the game, as you watch it, as you rewatched it, were there any opportunities there that we could have actually won the game before going to overtime, or was it more of a play from behind and we were fortunate to go to overtime situation?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, I'm sure there were a couple of plays that could have gone our way, but we definitely played our hardest and just unfortunately came out the short end of that game. Hopefully, it'll be the other way around.
Yeah, when they come to Medal of Honor Field.
Yep,
I agree. Charles, second and last question for you as far as Mexico City is concerned. As you watch the game and probably rewatch the game, what were the high points for us? What did you like? And what were the low points? What did you not like?
Well, I love the fact that we tied the game and actually took the lead late in the game.
Right.
I don't like the fact that they tied it, and I don't like the fact that they got the coin toss and drove and hit the field goal.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I'm getting tagged in general chat of SFL by some guy named Thomas Bahamas. Who the fuck is that guy? I don't even know who that dude is. He said, this is a stupid question, but what Texas city is Lone Star based out of? San Antonio. Oh, I guess it's not a stupid question. And Thomas Bahamas.
There's actually a town called Lone Star in Texas.
If you and Thomas, if you happen to watch back on this, don't go ahead and discard my vulgarity towards you. I'm going to go ahead and answer him while we're on the air. Thomas Bahamas, I just answered you live in the SFL chat on the air. You're welcome. Albert, same question to you. You're the head coach. You oversee the offense, you oversee the defense. I know we have coordinators, but you're the man at the end of the day. It was a close game. Mexico City is a tough team. They're our reigning division champions. They're ranked 4th in the power rankings right now. Playoffs every single season. Season 9 champion. Tough team to play. What did you like about us going into Mexico City and forcing overtime?
So, anytime you go to someone else's stadium or home, it's usually a pretty tough game. I was very happy with our offense to bounce back. The defense showed up, when they needed to. Unfortunately, went into the overtime. That either way, I think it was a great game, right to the very end. QB ratings were the same. Ace played a hell of a game, kept up with him. It's just one of those things that the coin course. I feel losing that was the reason why we lost, but. I'm on to Baltimore, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. In the chat real quick, who's that? Bullet. You know what? Maybe we should start each show with a coin toss. And if it's heads, I'll start the show. And if it's tails, Charles will start the show. Maybe we should make the coin toss part of the show.
How about whatever happens?
Sounds good.
Cut up both your asses.
T-Pat once again in the chat. It's tough playing on the road. They don't always roll out the coral sheets for you. Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. And I got to say, Mexico.
So is Nate playing like Angry Birds or something?
Well,
what the
I'm
hell's
just
going
saying,
on down there?
all I'm saying is Ramos, he rolled out the green sheets, he rolled out the red sheets, but he didn't roll out the coral sheets. I agree with T-Pat on that one, actually. And I got to tell you, if he had rolled out the coral sheets, maybe we wouldn't have had a coin toss, and we would have won the game in regulation.
Couch.
That's all I'm saying. Nate, last question to you on this game, 31-28 in overtime. The fact that we played them this well and this close in their house, does that give us some momentum, some confidence, something for when we play them later in the season when they come to our place?
Short answer, yes.
All right.
Longer answer.
Hey, it's a long show. Feel free to expand on that if you like.
Yeah, no, I mean, anytime you play at home, it's going to give you a boost. You got your own fans there to cheer you on and everything. But, I mean, I don't know how well our fans travel down below the border to watch us play in Mexico City. So,
it's not a far trip. So I'm sure we were well represented, right?
Yeah, I'm sure we were too. But I think we'll even be more represented week 12 or last week of the season.
Yeah,
and it makes a difference for sure.
I agree with that. Well, Nate, let's stick with you for a moment as we move on to Nate's great plays of the week. The top plays. We asked Nate for 4, 5, 6, maybe sometimes 7. I mean, if we're playing really well, it could be 7 or 8, right? Right. Plays for Lone Star in our game each week. This week at Mexico City at Estadio Azteca in Week 6. Nate, let's check out Lone Star's top plays for Week 6. Oop,
I even asked Ace to dub this Week 6 top 6, and he freaking failed me.
Bro,
there you go.
Ace has been under a lot of pressure from the asshole president of Lone Star, so I'd give him a little slack.
All right, sounds good. Week 6 top 6, number 6, Ace Finnick to Worm, Adam Williams for this 4-yard beauty with 6 minutes left in the first half to cut the lead to half.
Nice. Thomas Bahamas, good to see you on the show. I just answered your question in Gen Chat, buddy.
Finnick under center, going to throw it over the middle, and that's caught. Adam Williams, touchdown, Lone Star.
What a catch. What a catch. What a play right there by the Lone Star Glory.
That's my boy. All right, Nate, number 5.
She.
All right.
just in case anybody in the league had any doubt in her 3rd or 4th season that she's not a dude, we put that on there.
It still happens, man. It still happens.
For you.
All right.
Just for you.
Right. Number 5, Ike Truckstick McBride with this 8-yard beauty of a run with a minute and a half left in the half to tie the game up.
And that's exactly where they're going to go.
Look at her run over that
and gets herself into
right.
the end zone.
Stiff arm City.
I love how she ran over that he.
Golly,
just
right into the end zone. A phenomenal effort and run and the
All right,
grit
that was number.
from
what number is this again? 5. Look at this.
Oh,
replay.
That was
sit down.
Bam.
Sit down. Beautiful. Number 4, and I'm assuming this is not the back injury that took him to the doctor today.
I don't think so, but Albert, I'm kind of a big deal. Begin with a interception in the end zone on the last play of the first half to prevent going down even more.
Ooh, that was
Wilson
perfect
with
time.
over
I mean, it was pretty much a Hail Mary on their
47,000
part.
yards in his career. He heaves one
Yeah,
towards
yeah,
the
don't
end
minimize it
zone,
at
and
all,
it's gonna
Dave.
be picked
Hey, I'm
off.
just saying.
Actually,
I
a
mean,
really
it's not like
impressive
that was a
pick
drawn
by
up play.
Begin.
Let's be honest.
Got another one coming.
Well, I mean, but oh shit, fuck, damn, hold on, I just fucked
Wait,
it up.
hello.
Hold on, hold on,
Where they're gonna
How
go?
do you like that?
McBride bears it.
dude. This is what happened. You know what? Lisa, stop.
Bullet, write it down, Bullet.
Lisa, stop giving me alcohol at dinner before I have to go on.
Duly noted.
Wilson with over.
All right.
Rock and load,
Oh,
Bullet.
dude,
rock and
I love
load.
that we're not
Career,
giving
he
Bullet
heaved
any
one towards the end zone,
ammunition
and it's gonna be
for
picked
next
off.
year.
Oh,
Actually, a
man.
really impressive
Whatsoever.
pick
It's a target-rich
by Begin.
environment
It
for
is.
Bullet.
My question on that one, Albert, was: did you even have both feet in bounds?
That is none of your business, Dave.
Whoa, it's not like
Oh, wow.
it's not.
Hello.
Listen, it's not like I'm asking you a question while you're in bed laying on a coral pillow or anything.
I'm kind of a big deal.
That's
right?
that's not what she said. Hey yo, all right.
Oh.
Nate, number 3.
Number 3 is Dave struggling and his voice is cracking on the other end. Bo Martin
go City,
Jr. with an amazing interception of his own with 2:45 left in the third quarter. He got high for this one, kind of like Albert is right
Had a
now.
great job by Phoenix Jones getting up the
Albert's
middle for the
definitely
first down.
Wilson looking for the splash play and throws a pick instead.
Bo
Going
Martin
back
Jr.
the
He's gotta
other
have
way,
this
courtesy of Bo Martin Jr. High pointed the football in
He's
one-on-one
got some
coverage.
hops.
He does have some hops. All right, number 2.
Number 2, ace to deuce connection for 10 yards for a touchdown with 7:35 left in the game to tie it up at 21
Then it comes out
apiece.
in the empty
Acey-deucey
for
action
first
right
and
here,
goal.
folks.
Has time, gonna
Oh,
throw
he's
far
dropped.
sideline,
That
finds
looks-
his man
that
into
looks like
the
that
end zone,
Schroeder touchdown.
touchdown, Deuce Vennick.
Deuce Finnick for the first time tonight, coming up with a big one in the end zone, and Lone Star making quick work of the
Soda
turnover
red.
on the interception from Mexico City field.
And what's number 1 there, mister?
Number 1, ace to Ike with 13-yard reception to get set up a go-ahead touchdown with less
All
than
night
2
long with
minutes
an
left in
opportunity to
regulation.
try to take the lead here late in the
There
fourth
it is.
quarter.
Nice little swing
Ace
pass.
finds McBride wide open, end zone, touchdown Lone Star
did.
as they do take the lead.
Gunny, I don't believe that's true because I'm pretty sure I've seen Bo on these top plays before. He's had to have other interceptions. I feel like we call his name every other week or so.
And that's risky going up against Gunny. You sure you want to do that,
well,
Dave?
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. He
Wow.
can correct me when he comes on the
Wow.
air in a little bit, but I'm just saying
Wow.
I can guarantee you that's more than 1 interception, at least 2 for
Okay.
sure. Just saying. All right, Nate. Thanks for your great plays. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
Nate.
being here as always, bro. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Take a seat on that big-ass couch.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, it's a big-ass couch
You
that
can
I'm
only see
enjoying
like half. You
fully.
can't even see
Trying to
half of it.
minimize it, though. Can you see, Dave? They're trying to push it farther away from the camera.
They are. I have
So it doesn't
noticed
look
that.
as big.
You should
We
move
know
the
what the hell
camera.
they're doing.
You should
can't
move
fool us.
Yeah, I agree with you. You should move the camera to your right so we can see more of the couch.
A
Now
big-ass
move it to your
couch.
right, and let's see this big ass couch you got going on. No, your other right. Your military right, bro. There you go. Look at that
Oh,
damn thing.
boy. Look
That's
at
got to
that
be,
big-ass
dude. That's
couch.
got to be like an 8-footer, 8.5-footer. What do you think, Charles? I'm not really a
Yeah.
fisherman, but if I caught that in the Atlantic, I'd call it.
What
an
stories
8.5-footer.
that couch could tell.
Well, that being said, I've actually sat on that couch. So moving on,
Okay.
let's bring Yogi
Let's
in the
go to
house.
commercial.
Let's bring Yogi in the house. Yogi, what's up? How's it going? How you been? How was your weekend and all that stuff?
All good, all good. But I want to start this with I'm going to disagree with everyone saying we lost that game on the coin flip.
All right, let me hear it.
We lost that game on 2 plays. We had them at 3rd and 18. We have them 3rd and 11, and we let them get the first downs. Mike Daggs had 2 great plays, did his Travis Kelce impersonation. We stop them, we get the ball back, and then we're in the driver's seat. So I wholeheartedly agree we lost it on the coin cost.
The twin
Oh, Yogi, come on, brother.
I'm having issues
I
with
don't
my
know.
I'm having issues with my straw here. Hold on one second. Hold on. Sorry, folks. This is like
You're making it
This is the
like-
wheels off
It's
show.
like a pit. It's like a
Hey.
pit
That's an
stop.
espresso problem, Dave.
Hey,
Hey,
just
his-
pretend you're watching the Indy 500 and this is a pit stop, okay?
Hey, it's
I'm on meds.
his-
I have
no,
a
listen,
reason.
listen. His sucker is broken, so Lisa might have
Hey,
a problem.
that's right.
This
Don't,
sucker
hey,
and
don't,
straw is broken, all
don't
right?
interview me in the middle of my sucking right now. All right. Yes, Kendra, I did sit on the couch. I agree with that. And Frank the Franchise Wade, that's what she said. Hey, yo, what's up? Gunny, I am challenging you. I think that was at least Bo Martin Jr.'s second interception. Just
No,
for
it
the
was
record.
his first. It was his first of the
dude,
season.
Dude, I'm going to pull up Nate's top plays from before. I know he had at least one more interception, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh,
All right. That being said, as I'm totally dissing all of my team, my teammates, Yogi, interesting weekend in the Tex-Mex South Division between the four teams. We all played each other. So tell me, what's up down south, Yogi, this weekend?
Well, it was inter-division games, but I'm going to revert to rule one. The Diva is never wrong. I'll back off, but I'm still saying
The
one.
Diva versus Gunny. It didn't work out so well last night in the AACL championship game. Just saying.
No, it didn't. So Houston played Fort Worth at Fort Worth first. It was a good game. Both teams, exact same amount of total yards for both teams. Fort Worth had a touchdown lead late in the game. Houston had a settled for a field goal to cut it to 20-16 and never could get back into scoring range. So they pulled out that victory. The other game was us in Mexico City, and like I said, we did not lose it on the coin toss. I promise you. It was an excellent game, one of the better games this year. We love to keep everybody on the edge of their seats as we play, no doubt about it. Comebacks, etc. For my players of the week in the South, I've got Matt Wilson. In our game was 31 of 45 for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 0 sacks. Big point. The running back of the week was Phoenix Jones, also in our game. 29 carries, 141 yards, no touchdowns, 5 receptions, 27 yards, and a touchdown through the air. I had to go ties on the wide receivers. I went with Jason Bartley, was 7 of 90 for 2 touchdowns, and Steven Hacker was 8 for 139 in the Fort Worth game.
Nice.
Defensive players of the week. He's drunk now, but I'll give him a tie. Albert Begin was 10 tackles, 4 assists, and 2 interceptions.
Hey,
not just the one, but
Yogi,
2. Yes,
Just for the record, he's not drunk. He's doped up. That's completely
he's
different.
high.
Completely
He's
different.
high. And I'm going to give Josh Rowe a tie with him. He had 6 tackles, 1 assist, and a 56-yard interception touchdown. So that leaves the division as LSG's in front at 3-2. A half game back now is Mexico City after that big win. Houston's 1-4, and Fort Worth is 1-5, and that's where we stand at this present time.
There you go. 2 things, Yogi, before you go. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
A lot
Thank
of
you very
people
much.
don't realize it's your birthday today, but everybody, it is Yogi's birthday. Throw him some happy birthdays in the
birthday,
chat.
Yogi.
Thank you.
And the second question I have is, how was it fighting the Germans?
It was great. In World War One,
Yes.
World War II wasn't as much fun. World War I was much more fun. As long as you could dodge the mustard gas, you were in good shape.
Kind of what I thought, exactly. And actually, a more serious question before you go. Lone Star was 3-1. If we had beaten Mexico City, they would have been 2-3. Would have been 3-1, and we would have been a game and a half up on them.
2.5, yeah.
2.5.
Been a big lead.
Yeah, it would have been a big lead. But like I talked to the other 3 panelists earlier, do you feel like we played them close enough at home, at their place, that we feel confident and have some momentum when we play them later in the season at our own place?
I agree with that statement, and I think we have some tape on them now. We know what we did wrong. We will make the corrections, and we'll be in better shape in the next game. And I'm sure they'll be doing the same. So it's going to be another tough battle when we play again. And this one's for Bullet. I'm on week 3 of being here all by myself. I don't even have a dog. The wife went to Arizona to spend 3 weeks with our 10th grandson that was born on the 3rd, our 10th grandchild.
3 weeks.
Fantastic.
Living large, brother.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay, just
You're
for the
blessed,
record,
Yogi.
Charles looks like he wants to say something. I just want to say for the record.
From a timing standpoint, I just want to make sure At the top of the hour, Albert's got a sponge bath coming up. I want to make sure you're ready to drop the camera when that happens.
No, that was
I don't
part of
wanna
the
see
no, that was part of the deal. That's got to be on camera.
Oh, was it? We're gonna do a live sponge bath.
That's how we roll at Lone Star, bro. I'm just saying.
The coral
literally.
Yogi, I just want to say for the record, while she's listening, I can't even fathom spending 3 weeks away from my lovely bride, Pink Lisa, let alone 3 days or even 3 hours.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh, for God's sakes, Dave. Come on now.
Mine doesn't listen to this show. So I'm good.
Hey, I'm not joking. I'm not even joking. More power to you guys. I love my wife just because you don't love all of yours.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, shit. All right, Yogi. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure to be a
bro.
part of this.
Thanks,
See you later.
Thanks, man. All right, folks. Going back to, we do a few of these segments every week. Friends of Lone Star, friends of LSG from around the SFL. And that brings up our next one. Our good friend, longtime friend. Every show that we do, no matter what we do, he always seems to support us, and we appreciate that. And that is Frank the Franchise.
Oh,
wait,
we have a Freddie interruption.
Wait.
Freddie interruption.
Freddie, are you?
We're going to settle something once for all.
I thought are you ready to model your suit or something, or what's going on?
Mark Jr.'s in the chat. Ask him how many interceptions he got.
Oh, where is he? Wait, he's where? I don't see him.
In the chat?
He's in the chat.
Where? Oh.
He said hi to Kendra like a couple minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Bo Martin Jr., how many interceptions do you have this season? Let's just let's put it up for them, and then after he puts that up, I'll also double check it on the SFL website as well. Freddie, thank you for that. But Frank the Franchise Wade, thanks for being back here. Appreciate you being here and supporting everything we do. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. We got a really tough game coming up. We're playing the undefeated, reigning champion, Baltimore Vultures. And before we get into talking about them and previewing this game and bringing T-Pat on to talk about this game and their season so far, why don't you tell us a little bit about this Baltimore franchise?
All right. This Baltimore was involved in the SFL from season 3 to season 9 as the Baltimore Crabs. TJ owned that team, and Dr. T-Pat was owner of the Minnesota Maulers from season 3 to season 7, I believe. Baltimore didn't stay dormant long after they folded season 10. Season 11, they were reborn as the Vultures under TJ and T-Pat. The reason why they chose the Vultures and Baltimore, because TJ was born in Baltimore and still works there. They have the Ravens, they have the Orioles. He wanted something along those lines. He sees Vultures on his commute to work every day, so he chose them. They represent death and destruction. The 6 feet wingspan is intimidating, and they have a red head on a black body. So that's why he went with that. There's also an all-black vulture, and they occasionally use that logo on their helmet. Aman Takis was the first ever draft pick of the Baltimore Vultures, and he lasted 4 seasons with the team. Their second pick was T. Roy Gaines, now the president and general manager and known as Mr. Vulture. Guys like Gaines, Giovanni Bolt, Daley Holder, Shark Tarkington are still with the team from that season. Giovanni Bolt led the league in interceptions in his first season with 10. Bolt has 581 career tackles, 68 interceptions, 4 interceptions for touchdowns. T. Roy Gaines leads the team in rushing yards with 8,582 and 81 rushing touchdowns. He also has 3,100 yards receiving and 22 career receiving touchdowns. Last season, he moved to fullback and is still a main piece of the offense. Baltimore finished 9-3 that season in their first season, made it to the playoffs, but lost their first playoff game. They have since won 2 SFL championships, one in season 15 and another in season 17. Their overall regular season record is 68-23, including the 5-0 start this season. As the Vultures, they have not had a losing season. Season 17 was their best finish at 11-1 and an SFL championship. These owners have 2 different styles, and their past teams reflect that, but together they make it work. This team has been consistent. They do a good job of protecting the football. They calculate their shots down the field. They keep running the football, chipping away, throwing things underneath until they bring the safeties up and they see you later, Mac Chima or Daley Holder. This is the third meeting with LSG. Last one was a 40-66 shootout in the playoffs. This one's going to be tough.
Yeah, that was a crazy game in the playoff. I think that was the playoffs, wasn't it? Was it playoffs or last game of the season? I don't remember. Where we scored 40, whatever we scored. I think that's the second time that I remember recently, Frank, that we've scored 40 or more against a team and still lost.
No, you score 40 points and expect to win.
You would think so. You would think that would be the case. But, Frank, thank you for being here. As always, thanks for all the intel, the 411 on each franchise that we're getting ready to play. And in this case, Baltimore, a very storied franchise with a couple of titles. And we appreciate all the work and effort you put into the Road to Glory.
All right, appreciate your help, and good luck to y'all.
Thanks, bro. Before I bring T-Pat on, let me go around the panel real quick. Charles, let me start with you. I mean, bottom line is Baltimore's a beast. They've won 2 of the last 3 SFL championships. They almost went undefeated in one of last season. I think they lost the last regular season game to London, if I'm not mistaken. We've played them before. Obviously, even putting up 40 points is not enough against this team. What is it about Baltimore that's so special that makes them so tough to beat, even when you score 40 points against them?
They know how to build out their players. And when you play against Baltimore, if you go into I don't know if we did last time they blew us away, but going into the fourth quarter, if you have a lead on them, they rise to the occasion late in the game. I mean, kind of like what we did early in the season.
Right.
They have the patent and trademark on that. I mean, they are beasts late in the game. If you're ahead of them, you never feel comfortable because they can come back and steal it from you, and they probably will.
Yeah, absolutely they will. I mean, listen, you've got guys like Giovanni Bolt, Nate on the defensive side and special teams. There's just so many big names on this roster. Do you think one of the keys to their success, which we are trying to duplicate actually right now, is longevity, right? Keeping the same group of players together, progressing, staying together, keeping a cohesive locker room. Does all of that equal their success, or is it just a part of their success, do you think?
I think they've had – I don't know if they've kept all their players. I think they've had some turnover over the last couple seasons, but I think what makes Baltimore so impressive is the people that they bring in buy into the progression, and they do what they're asked to do, and it shows. I mean, every one of those players is you can't go to sleep on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think in the chat, I thought I saw TJ earlier. I saw Ivory Irvin. I've seen a couple of the other Baltimore guys jumping in here. Nate, same question to you, bro. Cohesiveness, keeping people together, keeping your progressions up, all that stuff. Is that the key to their success, or do you think it's more than that?
I think it's definitely a big part of their success. They've added a couple of different players. I mean, last year is when they drafted Jimmy Hazard, but he seemed to be fitting right in after he's progressed for multiple weeks over last season into this one. But yeah, I mean, when you got a locker room, and like you said, we're trying to do the same thing right now with our squad. But when you got a locker room full of guys that's been with the same team over, multiple seasons, those progressions are going to kick in. It'll make that team a lot stronger to beat when you play them.
Right.
And that being said, I think this game's going to be a lot closer just because of that reason. I mean, we still got work to do as far as that end of it goes, as far as growing and progressing and whatnot. But I can tell just over these first 5 games or so that we've played this season that everybody's gotten stronger over this season than we were last. So I think we're going to be playing a lot closer game, and I fully expects us to come out on the winning side this coming weekend, especially since we're at home.
Yeah, Albert, we just talked to Charles and Nate about them mostly off the field. You, as the head coach, overseeing Lone Star on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, what do you see about Baltimore on the field that makes them so special? Obviously, Ivory Irvin, all these guys, that we've talked about, Wigmore, who, probably one of the leading candidates for MVP this season. They just have so many weapons, but it's not just on one side of the ball, it's on both sides of the ball. But we all have the same cap, right? We all start with the same cap, so it's not like they have extra cap and so all their players are so much better. It's kind of what they do with them that transfers onto the field. Am I right, or am I looking at this wrong?
No, you're 100% right. The schemes that they come up with week to week just seem to outplay their opponents. Like almost like they have your playbook sometimes. It's kind of freaky. It is
Right.
kind of freaky. But it's very tough to go to plan against them because they're gonna counter almost anything you gotta do. So you're trying to throw something that they haven't seen, but they've seen almost everything, I believe. So it's just one of those, hopefully you can catch them off guard and get that win and get out real quick.
Well, let's hope 40-plus points will be enough this time around. Before we bring T-Pat in, let's check out this real quick 15-second LSG Baltimore promo. This Saturday, 2:30 p.m., we will be hosting the world champs, the Baltimore Vultures. We have one of the owners, T-Pat, is in the house, folks, on the show. T-Pat, welcome to the Road to Glory, bro. Congrats on all your success, and we really appreciate you coming on tonight and being here.
Thank you, guys. It's so great to be here.
Now, I think you were on one of the other shows that we did before, I think. I think it was your championship show. But other than that, Baltimore kind of keeps a low profile, right? Other than T-Roy, not a lot of people really go out of their way to jump on shows and talk about what Baltimore does. Is that kind of a team thing where you kind of want to keep things more in-house? Do you just happen to have more shy people on your team? What's the philosophy behind that exactly?
I'm not really sure. I would encourage our players to go on any show.
I think, yeah, I mean, like we've had on some of the other shows we've had you, obviously, T-Roy, Giovanni's been on, I think a few others, Wigmore's been on, and we always enjoy them. And, of course, we've done a couple of championship shows with you. The questions you heard me ask Charles and Nate is the foundation, the building blocks, if you will, of Baltimore's success over the last several seasons. Would you attribute that to the fact that you've been able to keep most of the people in-house, you've been able to keep their progressions on track, keep a cohesive locker room without a lot of changeover? Is that a key part of what you've done there, or do you think it's what's done off the field is equally that you would give as much credit off the field as you would on the field?
I think it's both. I always talk about my co-owner TJ. I've always said, I've never met anybody who can turn a roster into a team the way that he can. When I came back to Baltimore, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come coach with Baltimore and then become a co-owner, because he really has a way of getting everybody together, getting everybody on the same page. Everybody's excited to come to games. And I got to tell you, that's what I really like about your team and your show, too, because this show is great.
Thank you.
I'm really loving what I'm seeing here, the excitement that you guys have. All of these segments, this is fantastic. And I think what he is doing in a slightly different way, you guys are also doing here. And I got to think it's going to reap huge dividends down the road. Now, in terms of on the field, I honestly believe that TJ is the best defensive coordinator in the league. Our team's given up 91 points in 5 games this season. 28 of those points were against our backups. So I don't know how he does it because I have nothing to do with the defense whatsoever. But he does a phenomenal job on defense. On offense, I also like what you guys are doing, and I feel like it's kind of melded, or it's very compatible with the way that I try to coach games too, which is that you guys have lots of weapons. You got like the receivers, tight ends, halfback, fullback, quarterback. It really keeps your options open. If you need to do something slightly different against a certain opponent, it's like you've always got the weapon that you need to do that, which is kind of what we try to do as well.
Yeah, I appreciate those compliments, and I would agree with you. We've tried to I wouldn't say completely copy what you guys have done, obviously, because every team wants to do their own thing. But one of the things that we've tried to do is keep the cohesiveness, keep the roster turnover down to a minimum, keep everybody on the same page. Have the great locker room, keep the vision and the goals the same for everybody, which I think is key for you guys. I mean, to win 2 championships in the last 3 seasons has been phenomenal. As you, and I'm going to ask you, TV, and this is going to be probably a little more than you bargained for coming on the show tonight, maybe. But I got to ask you, do you think that the owners who have been here for a while, you and TJ, even Destro, who was here and then left and came back, Mighty and Mark and all these guys who have been here for a while, do you think they have an edge or an advantage over some of the newer owners? And do you think there's a learning curve for the new owners to catch up to the guys who have been here for a while?
I don't think, certainly, experience with anything is going to give you an edge. So experience with the game is going to give you an edge. You had guys like Ramos Lynn come in, didn't really have any SFL experience, but he had a lot of experience with the particular game that we use. Mm-hmm. And I would say that's certainly an advantage. I think that's shifting a little bit. I would say that probably gives you an advantage on the field, but people who, like you guys, who have the ability to kind of create an atmosphere and create a team, I think that gives you a particular advantage as well off the field. And my perception as someone who's been around since season 3 is that the game is the game is still on the field, but it takes a lot more off the field to make things happen on the field. And I think the teams that are going to climb and continue to improve are going to be the ones who can do both. And I'm not going to name names, but not every team is really great at doing both.
Right.
So I think that, yes, I do think that knowledge and experience gives them an advantage on the field. But I think if you can create a great atmosphere off the field, that gives you a different kind of advantage. And look, at the end of the day, we're playing a game. It's fun, Even if you win a championship, if you got no one to enjoy it with, what's the fun in that? I mean, the whole point is to be with people you like and have fun and enjoy sports, It's not supposed to be a job. It's fun.
Right. And that's the thing I think sometimes people forget. Either they take it too serious or what have you. They forget that the whole point of us being here, it's supposed to be a release from real life, right?
Absolutely.
It's not supposed to be so serious. Although, listen, I got to tell you, this weekend when we play you, I'm going to take it serious when we're watching the game because I want to beat you, right? But
of course,
right?
I expect nothing less.
Right, but it doesn't take precedence over things like in real life, right? You've got people in the SFL who, even with our own team recently, losing family members and people having struggles with jobs and things like that. T-Pat, I mean, you gotta agree, it's not even in the same ballpark, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna turn this over to the panel for a moment, T-Pat. I'm gonna unleash you to the dogs here. Let's start with Charles, then we'll go to Albert, and then to Nate. See if they have any questions or comments for you regarding anything about your franchise or the upcoming game or how great you guys have been recently. Charles, you got the first dibs on him.
Okay. Hey, T-Pat, thanks for joining us tonight. It means a lot. I mean,
Yeah, thanks for having us.
a lot of respect for you. I like the way you carry yourself in the owners channel. You're helpful and always answer questions. And when we go back and forth off the season talking about rule changes and stuff, you always carry yourself with dignity. So I really respect that.
Thank you. That means a lot.
For that, I'm going to ask you some really hard-ass questions. No, just kidding.
You can ask me whatever you want. I'll answer it.
I've got two magic wand questions for you.
Okay.
If you had a magic wand, knowing where we are in the SFL and knowing where we're going, the first question is, what would you change for next season? And then the other question is, what would you make sure doesn't change?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah. Well, the things that I would change are the things that I think we're already heading in that direction, which is I'd like to see more teams, a logistical problem. I'm, in the owners chat and everywhere, I've always been a proponent of as many teams as possible, wanting to give players a meaningful role on the field and not try to find more minor roles for players. I can honestly say every single player on our roster, we have a meaningful role for them to play. If we didn't think we did, we wouldn't have signed them. And so I think that's really the direction that we need to go. And I've talked to Cam a lot, and Cam is about 100 steps ahead of me on everything SFL, and that is absolutely the direction he's going. You can see it in the crawl every game. If we get to a certain number, we're going to expand by so many teams. If we don't get to that number, then we'll do it later down the road when we have the players to support it. The things that I think I absolutely would not change is really the team dynamic, I would say. I really love the fact it's a take on a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. That's essentially what we're doing in football form. And the best part about that is you get to team up with other people that you may never have met, but you get to meet them online, and you get to know them that way and share an experience together. I think that's where the SFL really shines, and I think we do it about as well as anybody else. So that's the thing I think I wouldn't change.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, no, great answers, T-Pat. Albert, you still with us, bro? You that medicine kicking in yet, bro? What do you got for T-Pat? What do you got for T-Pat tonight?
I don't think it stopped working, but this is kind of a difficult question, I believe, and a lot of people talking about it. And your team roster has this going on. You have a star player that decided to, in the eyes of the SFL, disappear. How do you handle that in your organization, where, like, if I read that here and there, it's everyone's like, oh, just drop the player, do this. How do you handle that?
That's certainly a challenge. I mean, you always want all your players to be all in, but real life things happen. With Jimmy Hazard, we don't really know what's happened because he hasn't really communicated it to us. But I just know from my experience as an owner, we've had players who had to stop playing for financial reasons, even though I don't think the SFL is incredibly expensive. You guys, I'm sure, all know how things can kind of add up, and you look at your budget and you're like, just can't keep doing this. We've had people lose loved ones. Even on our roster, we've had, as you guys have, we've had quite a few people lose uncles, even parents this season. So, especially with COVID, there's a lot of things going on. So we try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And we've had this situation happen before. The user, Jimmy Hazard, the person, we try to support him and have his back as much as we can. If he expresses that he needs something, certainly we're going to do everything we can to help him. As far as whether we drop the player or not, I honestly have no idea. I haven't talked to Tim about it, so I have no idea. I'm fine continuing with him, but if Tim has other ideas, I don't feel strongly one way or another. But it's a challenge. I think every team faces challenges like that. Players who don't progress or disappear or have real life, problems come up, and so we just we manage it the best that we can. Everyone's kind of in the same boat. Everybody has that to deal with, so you just do the best we can. Try to support the person himself as best we can.
All right, and then as a follow-up question,
Sure.
As for your coaching and staff, knowing that you lost a key part like that, how are they adjusting? Did they panic at first? Did they, how did your organization take that? 'Cause I know if we had someone do that, I know Charles and me and Greg and we talked, we would probably be like, okay, this happened, but how did your organization deal with that?
Well, I think I was proud to see there was a pretty strong expression of support for Jimmy the person, recognizing that it's a minor inconvenience for us, but it's his life, and so we want him to be well, whatever he's going through. And then it's something that we've dealt with before. A lot of the leadership on the team, Jack Wigmore, Saron Yates, T. Roy, Ivory Irvin, Mac Chima, all of the, I could just name our whole roster, but all of those guys kind of understand that these things happen, and so it's kind of like I said, the support for the person, but we'll have to at some point move on and do the best that we can for everybody else who's still on the team. As an offensive staff, you can see we kind of have like I was talking about you guys, we have kind of like a weapons type of approach. So I view myself more as like a Bill Belichick type of coach. I'm not the type of coach who's going to be like, this is my offensive philosophy, this is what we're going to do every single game. We're going to come out and run the ball 35 times, or we're going to have a West Coast offense or whatever. I've never really been that way. I just kind of look at each opponent and honestly try to figure out what makes sense to me, which, to someone else they may see the same film and something else makes sense to them. But it's worked for me so far, so that's kind of the approach that I take. And if you asked me yesterday what my game plan was going to be for you guys, I just came up with it today, so I literally couldn't have told you so.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
T-Pat,
no problem.
Last question from Nate before we wrap things up with you. Nate Hall, what do you got for T-Pat here?
First of all, thanks for being on the show. Honestly, I loved watching T. Roy and Duran on the cam on Monday night. That was really fun to watch during your game against Queen City. Along those lines, do you guys have your own personal swear jar in your own team locker room, or does that kind of what's their philosophy? Do you let your guys say what they want and have fun, or do you kind of keep a lid on things?
No, we always let them speak their mind. That's a big thing that I think people like about our team. We let them speak their mind. No, we don't have any swear jar. It's not G-rated.
That's good to hear. Definitely coming from an Army background as myself, I've heard everything. I honestly found it amusing.
You Army
right?
Guys, I swear.
I do have a second question though. You're traveling this weekend to Texas. Have you ever been to Texas before? And what are some of the things you're hoping to experience when you come down to Texas?
Absolutely, I've been to Texas before. I always like Texas's beer, to be totally honest. I love the breweries in Texas. Love trying a nice IPA at a local brewery. So I think that's always that's at the top of my list every time I come to Texas.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, T-Pat, last question before you go. I can't let you go without asking you this. Obviously, you think Baltimore is going to win this game this weekend, but what type of game do you foresee? Do you see another high-scoring affair like we had with you last time? Do you see a defensive battle? Do you see a blowout? What do you see coming up this weekend?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams have a lot of weapons, as I've talked about a couple times, and that I feel like that lends itself to a high-scoring game. Probably a couple turnovers on each side. We like to keep it, exciting for the broadcast.
I agree. And let's be honest. And I don't know. You're more of an offensive guy? It sounds like I am. I'm not one of these defensive guys that like a 6-0 game. I think that shit puts me to sleep, bro. I'd rather see 60-40, 40-30, whatever, than 10-0 or 10-7 any day of the week. Do you concur, or do you agree with my cohort over here, Charles, who seems to be shaking his head?
Maybe a nice 34 to 27 type game, kind of in the middle. Maybe not quite to Big Ten levels, but
right.
Not the SEC either.
Yeah, not any Mountain West or West Coast. What was that old conference? The WAC, where they have 70 to 60 games or something.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's a little much for me.
I'm okay with that though, as long as we're on the 70 side. But T-Pat, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Really appreciate you guys. Also tell TJ thank you, because I know he responded to my DM. Appreciate everything you guys have done over there, and much success other than this upcoming week. We wish you and all the Vultures, and I don't know, maybe we'll talk trash in the chat this weekend.
All right, sounds good, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Co-owner of the reigning champion Baltimore Vultures, 2 of the last 3 seasons, taking care of business here in the SFL. What a great interview.
Definitely.
He was solid, right, you guys? He was solid all the way around with his – he's knowledgeable. He's been around the block. He's been in the SFL long enough. I do like – I meant to ask him. I forgot to ask him.
Yeah, he carries himself that way in the owners chat.
That's
honestly, I'm not going to name owners, but there's some that don't. And he's, dignity. He answers questions. He puts his ideas out there. He's respectful. You can't poke any holes in him.
Right.
Really.
Right. No. Yeah. And we appreciate, and let's be honest, whether it's the old show or this show or anything that we've ever done here at Lone Star, Baltimore has always been one of the most supportive teams of everything that we've done, the most responsive when it comes to bringing people on and stuff. So we appreciate that entire franchise, and thank T-Pat for coming on. Moving on to the next segment, my main man Gunny in the house. Gunny, before I bring you on, let me do this real quick.
Can you? Yeah, you! It's time for mail call!
There you go. You know it's mail call. Gunny, what's up? How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good.
You still feeling high off that victory last night where you kicked my ass, or what?
We got together with the city of Atlanta. We're preparing a parade for Friday. I think all the kids are getting the day out of school.
I bet they are, and I guess you're welcome for that. I don't know what to say. But Gunny, tonight you got mail call. For those of you who have not tuned in before or may not remember, Gunny's mail call is where he will share between 1 and 3, depending on how many people we have for that given night, share some stuff about players, the people behind the player at Lone Star, and let you know a little bit about them and get to know them a little better. So, Gunny, with that being said, go ahead and take it away.
All right, before I get started, I just want to thank T-Pat. Honored to have you on the show. Bo Martin, welcome home. Albert Begin, we hope you're feeling better. And Yogi, happy birthday. Now on to a few good men and women from the Lone Star Glory. First off, in her 4th season in the SFL is none other than number 94, defensive tackle, Tina Begin. She was in the SFL Minor League season number 1. She played on the Albuquerque Adams. She was the 49th overall selection in the 3rd round by the Houston Hyenas. Season 15, she played in Houston. Season 16, Queen City. Season 17, she came to Lone Star. And season 18, she's also here at Lone Star. Tackles over her career, 64. Assists, 32. Full sack, 16. Half sack, 6. Total tackles for loss, 34. Pass deflections, 3. We here at Lone Star, Tina, are more than grateful for you taking care of Albert and James for us. Next up in his 5th season is Albert Begin, number 22, free safety. In season 14, Albert was a non-contract week 4 signee by the Queen City Corsairs as a linebacker. 5 weeks later, in week number 9, he signed a star contract. He replaced free safety Chris Dodd. Season 15, he was also at Queen City. Season 16, Queen City. Season 17, Lone Star Glory. Season 18, Lone Star Glory, where he is the head coach and assistant GM. Career stats for Mr. Albert is 356 tackles, 120 assists, 2 sacks, 1 half sack, 4 tackles for loss, 18 pass deflections, 25 interceptions. One of those interceptions was a return for a touchdown, which was in season 17, and he has 2 forced fumbles. Albert wears the jersey number 22 in honor of his daughter, which that is her birthday, December 22nd. Tell your daughter Capricorns rock. On to our third and final glorious teammate is James Troll, number 11 kicker. This is his 5th season. He started in Queen City in season 14. He signed as a star.
Oh. Did we lose Gunny?
Wide receiver, James Manzi. Season 15 and season 16, he was also part of Queen City. Season 17, he came to Lone Star, but did not have a player participation, but he was our defensive coordinator, and he is also that role this season in season 18. Field goal attempts.
Do we keep losing Gunny? Can you guys hear him?
I lost him.
Gunny, we lost you, bud. Gunny. Gunny. Nothing? I can't even say you're muted, bro, because he's not muted. And I can't say Kendra because I don't have any alcohol in front of me.
He gone.
He gone.
Gunny gone. Gunny.
The troll got him.
He gone. I guess we'll hear the rest of James Troll.
Where did it leave off, Dave? I didn't know I lost everybody. Where did I leave off?
Why don't you just start at the beginning with James?
Okay. This is James Troll's 5th season. James Troll, number 11, is our kicker. He started at Queen City week number 2 with a star contract. He replaced wide receiver James Manzi. He was in Queen City for season 14, 15, and 16. Season 17, he was a non-player participant, but he was the defensive coordinator here at Lone Star, as he is this season. In season 18, field goal attempts 81, field goals made 74. James, love that you were on the field with us. Fun fact: James is the only non-face mask player in the SFL. Personally, he reminds me of Evel Knievel. Continue being reckless and glorious, and keep kicking those threes. And Dave, with that's it for our glorious teammates. That is all.
Thank you, Gunny. When you say James doesn't have a face mask, do you mean something like that right there? Or
the bars and stuff. He just has an open face mask.
Okay. I don't know if you can see your screen, but James Troll, we put him in the old uniform. He's actually got a troll face and hair, and I don't think you could fit a helmet on that bad boy anyway. So I don't know if that's officially what he wears underneath his helmet, but we'll get some inside information to find out. Gunny.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. We'll have to do some more research.
Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you as always, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. A couple more segments left, and then it's time to wrap up. And we're going to be about on time as like we normally are. Sometimes, though, once in a while, this next segment coming up takes a little longer. Uh-oh. Mike All, did you get rid of your cam? Your camera's not showing up, bro. Is Mike All even with us? You're muted, bro. Mike All. Hey, yo. As you guys know, we've got another segment that we do with our friends from around, friends of LSG from around the SFL. And Mike All is one of those, although right now he's not on camera and he's muted. I'm not sure what happened to him, but I will, he's texting in the showroom, so I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can get him in here. In the meantime, Charles, you commented on T-Pat and what a great guy he was. Albert, let me ask you, what did you think about the interview from T-Pat of Baltimore?
Great guy. I mean, he didn't shy away from questions like normal people usually do. He was straightforward. Seemed like a stand-up guy, in my opinion. That's about it right now.
Yeah, he seems. I was waiting for you to get a little more doped up so I can ask you some more personal questions. But in the meantime,
you can ask anything you like.
Let me move over to Nate. Nate, we had a really good interview, and his name is escaping me right now. But the defensive player from DC that was on a few weeks ago, he really got people hyped up and excited. But from an owner perspective, I'd say, man, that T-Pat interview, that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, for sure. T-Pat, I think he's set the bar right now for future players, coaches, etc. that comes on for the rest of the games on the season. Definitely a class act in this league, and from a professional standpoint, just set the bar really high for everybody else that comes on in the future.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. All right, folks, let's move into our last segment of the night. There he is, Mr. Mike All. Wanted to make sure that was working, but let me get rid of you just for a second. All dat and a bag of chips. As all of you know, Mike can come on and talk about whatever he wants to talk about. The only prerequisite is you're eating a bag of... Is that just regular Fritos? What is that? Oh, it's chili cheese.
Chili
Frito.
cheese, bro.
All right. So let me see. This is show number 6. So you've had 6 different chips on.
Yes,
of
sir.
the 6 different chips, which one has been the best so far, bro?
These are pretty tasty right now, Dave.
Those are. I'm gonna go nacho cheese Doritos are my favorite, bro, of all time. So I'm going with those still from what was that show 3 or 4, I think.
Like 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. There's a couple of those that you had on. I didn't even know what the hell they were, bro.
I'm gonna keep trying to do that for you, Dave.
Some kind of Midwest East Coast shit that I don't know about. But Mike, what do you got for us tonight? All that and a bag of chips. What are you gonna talk about?
So it was kind of copacetic that you had T-Pat on tonight, because what I wanted to talk about was all these missed progressions this season and what's going on.
Interesting. Yeah, it's been very interesting. And we talked about this. I think didn't we talk about this on one of the earlier shows too? When I think there was a Vancouver person that bounced. We talked about the Baltimore guy, and then who was the other one that missed? Somebody from Portland, I think, right?
Yeah, that would be Truzman.
Truzman, yeah, Truzman. And so, since those kind of big threes, has there been any other big names that have kind of missed progression or bounced from the server?
So yeah, let's talk about this, Dave. I made a whole list here.
Okay.
Whether they've missed the progression or been bounced. I'm gonna go teams in alphabetical order. In Arizona, Sean Allen missed week 4 and possibly is going to miss this week as well.
Okay.
Obviously, with Baltimore, Jimmy Hazard every week. Hope he's okay. Carolina has had Sam Avolas miss week 2 and Ryan Ray miss week 1. Also, Clint Hendershot missed week 1 for them. In Charleston, Lyric Da Vinci missed week 1. Jack Hoffman missed week 1 and week 3, and possibly this week as well. And, of course, the whole thing with T.D. Drew where looks like they're going to be getting themselves a new quarterback.
Right.
D.C., Kyle Storm might possibly miss this week. He hasn't progressed yet this week. Denver, Eric Price, their quarterback, missed week 3. Ari Mills missed week 3 and 4. Marlon Marshall missed week 5 and possibly this week. And also Isaiah King might miss this week. In Florida, Verdon Zarkov missed week 2. Houston, Stephen Walker and Brady Clark might both miss this week. LA, Jack Flash missed week 5. And Buddy Blaze missed week 3. Louisiana had the rookie Anthony Delano miss week 3. Las Vegas, Nicky Colantrelli missed week 4. Mexico City, is it Kyler Kingsley or Skylar Kingsley missed week 1 and week 5. As we already mentioned, John Truzman missed everything since week 2 and got cut.
Yeah.
And Mike Savage missed week 5, who's also the brother of Jimmy Hazard.
Right.
San Diego had Raylan Earl III miss week 4. Tulsa has had Carson Miller miss every week. I believe he's a linebacker. He hasn't been cut yet, though. And Vancouver had Julian Valier miss week 1 and 2, and he got cut. That's 26 total people that have missed.
So before we go around the horn here and talk to everybody and get their opinions, first I do want to say hello and welcome to a couple people I saw jump in. Doug Britton's in the house now. I see Achilles Papatonos is here, and thought I saw one more, but I don't see him now. Welcome to the show. And this is the last segment of the night, but this is usually the segment that takes the longest, Mike, just because we talk about some important things here. You know what, Nate? I'm going to start with you this time, then we'll work our way back around. I'll give Charles the last word on this one. Nate, you know, you're on the broadcast team. You're kind of more in tune with some things, Gen Chat and what have you. I know you've been in here, what now, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, something like that here in the SFL. So I'm not going to ask you how you think this compares to other seasons, because according to what Mike's saying and according to what I'm hearing, it seems kind of higher than normal. I'll save that for maybe for somebody else. But my question to you is, do you think that because the league is growing and because we have more players, it's just a normal byproduct that the more people you have, the more people you're going to have that are going to miss progression due to personal problems or whatever? Is it just a numbers game, or do you think there's more to it than that?
I mean, there's various reasons why people might miss progression. I know TD Drew for certain heard why he missed his progressions, and we can talk about that at a different time, or we can talk about it now. I've heard the reason why, but I think it's a numbers game a little bit to some extreme. You're gonna have the normal rotation of people coming in and out of the league. Whether it be for real life issues or like TD Drew, he just had a different opinion about one of the league's positions on way things work here in the league as far as money and paying. But you're gonna have the revolving door, and I think that's kind of what Cam was hoping for when he created this league. You're not going to be able to keep everybody that you bring in for every season. I mean, there's going to be issues where real life stuff comes up for people, and they just have to take some time off. That's not to say they can't come back later. They just might take a couple of seasons off or whatnot. But I think that's always going to be a mainstay here in this league just because of certain things that come up.
I would like to hear, if anybody in the chat knows, I would like to know if this is an abnormal thing, number one. Is this more people than normal missing progression? I know that there's been a couple different seasons where we've had a mass exodus from the league, like when Seattle left because the Seattle people weren't happy. I know that those kind of things happen, right? You know, you got the ebbs and flows. It's a normal roller coaster like anything else. But Albert, is it as simple as, you know, like in sales, right? In sales, call 100 people, get 10 commitments, and get one person that you sell or whatever. Is it basically just that, or is it more than that with the way the league maybe is changing? And again, I'm not putting anything on the league or Cam right now. I'm literally just asking an open-ended question. Is it something more about the league, or do you think it's more about the people and why they're actually missing progression?
Well, I think it could be personal reasons. Like if you miss one, a lot of the other things, it could be the locker room. Coming from
That's a good point too.
a different organization. I've been in a different one. Coming from that one to this one is night and day. I mean, I'm happy here. Same thing with my wife. My wife's been in 3 locker rooms. I think she's expressed LSG is where she's going to stay. I think that's a big part of it. You're not going to keep everyone all the time. It's just like anything else, the fad may fade. Oh, this is exciting, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's like a hobby. You just fall out of it sometimes. But I truly believe it has to do with the locker room and presentation of what goes on behind the scenes.
The locker room is something I didn't actually think about. That's actually a great point, Albert. So it could be in real life stuff, personal things, right? It could be what's your team like? What's your locker room right? Or what's your locker room like? And it also could be things with the league. Like, we talked about this a few shows ago, and Mike, you remember this. I think you brought it up. As we go to more potential part-time players and backup players, backup running backs and quarterbacks, is there going to be a change in subscription prices due to the amount of playing time? All those things that we'll hear from the league later on that. But Charles, do you think I have a hard time believing it's forecasting like that, right? Am I going to miss progression now because I don't like something the league might do in the future? That doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me more is just more the numbers game. But, I don't know. Am I wrong? What do you think?
Well, I'm still trying to the whole TD Drew thing kind of caught me for a
they talked.
surprise.
Yeah, that was a big thing. I think it was this past weekend or something. It was a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to air all that stuff out, but I may need to go back and do some reading to figure out what happened. I mean, I met the guy at one of the conventions, and wow, I'm shocked that he left. But
really quick, there, just to let you know, their owner did post something in one of the channels, like team content or something, over the weekend.
Something to make it public. Okay.
Can I pop in something here real quick?
Yeah, look, everybody just cut Charles off.
That's okay.
I know, Yogi, I'm just fucking with you, bro. Come on.
It's going around the same circle, but I want to interject a different view here. I did progression for a third of the league 2 seasons ago, and I've helped with the minors. A lot of those names that were read off on that list are repeat offenders over multiple seasons. I recognize a lot of those names for where I had to put a block, missed progression. So I think it's a continual pattern for some people, not just locker room and not just life is coming up. It's just a repeatable pattern. And some of the names I recognize are San Jose Flight minor leagues that had that same pattern.
So let me ask you this then, Yogi, since you seem to know. If you compare this season to 2 or 3 seasons ago, whenever it was you were doing all that work, do you see more misprogressions now, less misprogressions, or the same?
I see more because you've seen some more from the top, like the TD Drew and the Hoffman. And I know they're best friends. I know when I played for them, they missed a progression one week way back when because they went out of the country on a vacation on a cruise line.
Right.
So they couldn't do progressions. That was acceptable.
That actually, yeah.
Now this happening is like I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I made a comment in our locker room about, wow, some big names are missing multiple progressions already early in the season, and now he's already missed enough that he's going to be gone.
Okay, so Charles,
that's
Charles,
kind of
BS.
You can't do it on a cruise. Yeah.
Well, Charles, that was a couple seasons ago, but yeah. So Charles, that's another good point. Is it just the fact now that we're just seeing bigger names like a Drew and a Hazard that's bringing this more to the forefront? You think, or
I don't know. I'm not Yogi. I'm not going against what you said. I was just saying that as an excuse is a little crazy. But I don't know, man. I think that as the league follows their strategy. I think that there may be some more people that leave, and we'll probably gain some people too.
Right.
I think, the lesson learned out of this exercise, at least for our GM staff, is and good thing we have guys like Yogi and Albert, is we don't want to bring people on board that have a history of missing progressions.
Right. And I would think most teams would take that approach. Of course, you have some teams that are maybe willing to take a chance if that particular player, Charles, has a higher value, right? And so you roll the dice. Maybe if you're a bubble playoff team or a team that's just trying to get more wins, you take a chance on that. But if you're a situated team like a Baltimore, like a Florida, like an Atlanta, or whatever, you're probably not going to take that risk on a player.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I think we've been blessed. I don't think we've had anyone miss a progression since
Zero.
when I took the team over.
Zero.
I don't think so.
Yogi got that pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we've got Yogi and Albert will show up at your house.
Yeah.
So
Yogi's doing all the showing up right now, just to let you know.
Yeah, he is. That's okay, though. He's doing live cam to Albert in his bed with his coral pillowcase. Michael, let me bring
that's horrible. I mean, the impact on a team when you miss a progression.
Yeah.
I mean, the GMs spend so much time mapping out the progression for a season, and you can't understate the impact that has on a team when one player misses a progression. I think that's just an incredible burden to the team.
Because it's not just on the field, right, Charles?
And I'm not. People have real life issues, and I'm not shooting down those folks, but it's just. In my seat, it's hard to deal with, and we've been blessed.
I mean, a full week to do it.
Right?
Like
how many players have you had that have missed progression?
Who, me?
Mike.
Oh, Mike.
No, I mean, there's been one or two in the past, but this season there's nobody. The only one that's missing is my offensive line coach, who's supposed to miss because you can only progress one at a time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. In the past.
Am I wrong on the impact?
Oh yeah, no, it definitely hurts the team, progression wise.
Yeah.
So Mike, what's your we'll bring it back around to you. So what you brought up the question. So what's your input on all of this? What's your opinion on is it more people? Is it just because we have more people in the SFL? Is it just because it's some bigger names? What are you thinking? And do you agree with Charles about the impact it makes on every single team?
Oh yeah, it definitely hurts your team because when the GM and the owner and everybody puts together a plan for the team, that includes the progressions, and if you're not getting better, you're not helping the team win. So I'm definitely all in on that boat. As far as I'm concerned, this does seem like a quite a rash of missed progressions this season, especially with some of these big names. And I'm not saying that there isn't good reasons to miss. I mean, certainly the cruise out of the country is a big one. Like, you can't do it unless you keep your computer with you or something like that and hop on the internet. But I
can see Charles's face not agreeing with you. But go ahead.
I went on a cruise, dude, and I was able to get the internet. I mean, it's like $5 to be able to access the internet.
Well, I mean, we don't worry about Charles. He's independently wealthy, so he could do
no,
what he wants. But
I was down with the guys that peel potatoes.
Yeah, but
it's not that's crazy.
On a general normal basis, missing progressions is pretty unacceptable. As my good friend, the silky smooth sexual chocolate Bo Martin Jr. pointed out in the chat here, he was just in the ICU. He was in a very bad way in the ICU. Still got his progression in.
100%. So I never mind the fact that Mike, we have what was it, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it is to do it, and it takes 30 seconds, maybe a minute to log on. Like, I don't even have to log on. I haven't had to log on all season because I go on my computer. It just goes automatically to it. It takes me 15 seconds to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on vacation, if something's going on, I understand there's a lot of things that weigh on people in certain situations. But
the question is, Mike, so the guys that missed it, like we'll use the cruise example here. It's one thing if the team knows that they're going to miss it and they can plan accordingly, as opposed to, oh shit, it's Thursday and we missed progressions.
Oh yeah, you definitely, if you're going to be missing it, you need to let the team know ahead of time that you're going to be missing it. But there's very, in my eyes, and maybe I'm just selfish, maybe I'm a jerk, whatever, but in my eyes, there's very, very few reasons to miss your progression. Say you're at your wedding, you're at a funeral. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings if you take 15 seconds to go on and do that.
Exactly.
At least I don't think so.
I agree with you guys. So listen. So first of all, I want to say welcome to Deacon Nickens. I saw he just hopped into the chat a little while ago. Everybody
Wow.
knows that what I was going through last summer, right, Mike, with my sister-in-law, traveling for 2.5 weeks, and I still took the time to remember, even though I had a lot on my mind, and driving 8-10 hours a day, sometimes 12. Even with the most important life things, right? We talk about all the time in real life, right? Real life is greater than sim life. Even with the great things, the things that were going on in real life, I still took the time to take the 15, 30 seconds, a minute, even 5, let's say it's 5 minutes. I don't know what, for those of you who are math majors in the chat, what is 5 minutes out of however many hours are in a week? It's nothing, right? It's nothing. Now, if you have an overwhelming catastrophe, right? Let's say you yourself are in the ICU, right? And you can't get, and you're unconscious or whatever. Of course, those kind of things. But I'm with Charles on this one. I have a hard time accepting probably 99% you think, Mike, of the excuses or the reasons that would be to miss progression? Am I out of line right now or no?
No, you're definitely not. I mean, there's been people, and I'm not going to call any names out, but there was people that were like, "Hey, I'm not sure I'm going to get my progression in this week," but you just posted that from your phone or something? I mean, go do your progression instead of posting that.
And that's the other thing, right? I don't even have to go to my computer. I can do it from my phone.
Yeah.
Folks,
Can I cost another $20 in?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, cost another $20. Absolutely. And then we have a special guest that just jumped into the server that's going to chime in on this. But Yogi, go ahead first.
All right, there's a couple more little angles here, and you're on my topic now about progressions and all, because I do all San Jose's players.
Okay.
So I've got quite a few there. I got 9 there, and I do 9 players on other minor league teams because they have zero guidance. No one is telling these guys what to do in the minors on a lot of teams, so they're getting bad habits right there. So they're doing whatever they want to do. You'll see a guy
you think that's just going to automatically translate to the pros, whereas in the pros you have guys that are going to, like you and Albert, that are going to take more control of that?
Well, you're in a good system here. I don't know what all the other teams are like. Maybe some of their – I know when I was doing the progression, there were some that had zero system too. But that's just the twist I want to put in here. These guys are getting bad habits. They're not in unified situations.
Okay, well, we've heard from, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've heard from 6 people on this topic. Let's hear from a 7th. Let's hear from the man himself, SFL Commissioner Cam Irvine. It looks like Eddie Gage popping in the chat too. Cam, welcome to your first ride to glory. How you doing, bro? It's been a minute.
When Dave calls, I answer, and Eddie Gage is waiting on my call back, and he's probably doing a double take right now, going, "What?
Hey, you know
what are you doing on this show?"
Hey, Eddie, learn your pecking order, bro.
Yeah, it's all that and a bag of chips right now, Eddie.
It's all that and a bag of chips. So
actually, I was neck deep in honeymoon planning, and it has taken a lot out of me.
Broke
this
up
evening,
there.
so I am behind.
We heard knee deep in honeymoon, and what was the rest? You broke up. That being said, I don't know how many of the shows you've listened to, Cam. I know you were on at least one for sure that I saw you on. One of our segments is Mike all that and a bag of chips, where he just comes on and brings up whatever topic about the SFL that he wants.
Oh yeah, I love watching Mike eat.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like watching Mike eat?
I think I saw the nacho cheese episode. He definitely bounced through a whole bag of nacho
where
cheese.
He dumped them all on his
yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's what we're discussing, and here's what we're debating right now. he brought up the fact, and he went through a list of, I think it was 26 people, either missed or and also ready to miss progression potentially this week.
So about what would that be about? This week? You mean?
Yeah. So it's a low percentage.
Not 4%. Yeah, right.
Right. But here's the question. Is it normal? Is that a normal amount? Is it more right now just because we have more people? Right. If you have 100 people versus 1,000 people, obviously the numbers just say you're going to have more missed progressions. Or are there other reasons behind it? Or is it just because it's bigger names, right? Like Hazard and Drew and them. What is your take on this? Is this normal? And because I asked in the chat to see if there was anybody that knew about all the previous seasons to see if this was just normal, if it was more, if it was less. We didn't have anybody that knew the answer. So what say you there, Mr. Commissioner?
That seems high for 1 week. Certainly. I don't know. When you look at retention rates and, there's about 5% churn every season, 5% are missing enough progressions to be released. To me, that's the first sign that there's trouble ahead, right? If you've got a player that isn't logging on to make progression in a 4-day window, there's only 7 days in a week. So that's not that's not good, right? So it does seem high for a singular week, but in terms of what that says about turnover or retention or all that stuff, it doesn't seem overly alarming, but single week, that's pretty high.
Well, as we have more people join the league, including the minor league.
Oh, is it? Well, hold on, Dave.
Yeah.
Is this for the whole season?
No, this is for the I was trying to say this. That was for the whole season, including this up to potentials, including this week, is what I meant to say.
Oh, just with one miss at least.
Yes.
Correct.
So,
but
does
a lot of the ones that Mike said looked like they were looking at two potential misses if they missed this week.
So does TD Drew's 3 misses count in the 26?
Yes, I was just counting individual people.
Okay.
Not...
Okay. Right. No, then that seems relatively on par or low.
So you
that
think
doesn't seem
you
like
think
a
it's
lot.
just because of the names and it being a little more publicized than normal?
Well, I think with the portal, it's great, and our reporters, people that cover the league and have news outlets, they're doing a great job, staying on top of stuff, and I think that's been really good, and I think, David, is a little bit of how many times have we had a quarterback change in the middle of the season in the last 2 years? It's pretty unusual.
Baltimore,
the running back situation as well. Yeah, that's like the last one that I can remember, Dave, and that was before the rules of you move with your own build even existed. So it's been a long time.
So let's see. T-Pat, I don't know if you heard earlier, T-Pat was on. By the way, T-Pat was an incredible interview. You see what he put in the chat right now?
Yeah. No, I'm relieved to hear that's 26 for the whole 7 weeks.
Yeah. So it was 26 different people, but some of those were multiples or could be multiples, including this week is what. So I might have said it poorly to begin with, but I think the fact that, and we just spent the last 15 minutes talking about, is it just because it's more numbers, the league's bigger, so you're going to get more people missing? Is it because it's just bigger names right now? Is it because, like Yogi said, there's some minor leaguers that get into some bad habits, and then that transfers to how they progress in the majors when they get there?
Well, you'd have to look. I don't have the data in front of me, but you'd have to look at who's missing, right? Is it veterans or is it rookies? But I do think that it is a problem that minor leaguers are progressing in a different way than they are in the portal. That's something that we thought would be accomplished before the start of the season, and we are still working on accomplishing that. I can't speak to why it has caused so many coding problems having a second league as part of the portal. I'm not going to pretend to understand that, but it's it's been kind of a headache. So we really want that to be finished so that the minor league guys, from the moment they get in the league, they have the same system as anybody else. I think that would help a lot. And we're certainly working to try to make that happen. It should have been accomplished 6 weeks ago, and it just hasn't been. Just moving a little slow.
Okay. Real quick, Mike or the panel, anybody got anything for Cam real quick? I wanted to get his take on this because since nobody was answering us about the history, I wanted to see if we were, above par, below par, or what.
I was gonna say something really quick, Dave. Not personally to Cam, but like in general. I saw something that Bo posted in chat earlier. I just wanted to bring it up because he made a valid point. We brought up how real life situations can come up in somebody's life and might make you miss progressions, and Bo made the point that doesn't really. So the point that he made was, so like if you're at a wedding, you're telling me that you can't go find a restroom and progress for 2 seconds
on your phone, right?
On your phone when you're in the bathroom. Right. He actually called it.
I've progressed at so many weddings.
He actually called it poopgression, so we can start a trend there.
Right.
Hashtag poop trend. So he made a valid point though, because Cam and the league has made progressing so much easier with this new portal, where we used to have to go in a separate room and type out our progressions, and now literally all you have to do is click at least maybe 2 buttons at the most to progress, and you can't find 2 seconds to press 2 buttons. I think it's an invalid excuse to say that you don't have time to do it.
So Cam, we also talked about like probably 90% of the reasons not to progress are pretty much out the window because we have so much time to progress. I will ask you a couple of questions. These are really minor, but I want to ask you just because they happen to be part of the process, and one of them just happened to me this past week. I went on, and I'm always the last one to progress on my team. It's the whole diva thing. It's like,
I'm just looking at Mike with the product placement there. It's just
and for those in case you please stop by your local 7-Eleven and pick up your chili cheese Fritos. Is the fact that my subscription expired, but I didn't know that, right? I didn't know that it expired. And so I waited to the last minute. I had to. Luckily, it was early enough in the day. I was able to get that rectified. But is there any way? So what I did now. So last year, I did a year subscription, so I wouldn't have to worry about it, right? Well, the problem with that is now, when it came up, I had no clue when it expired. I didn't know if it was January, February, March. I had no clue. Now I just did a 1 month, so this time, and I wrote it down so the next month I can remember to progress again. Is there any way for the league to track that, or for us to be able to track it through the league? I hope that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So I would know when other than me writing it down, obviously, which is personal responsibility. I get it. But is there any way for us to know when things expire?
The sad part, Dave, is that 1 month's auto renew and they're more expensive. So you don't have to worry about writing it down. It's going to take care of that for you. So that stinks for you because now that you have
I'm paying $550 this month. What the hell?
Now that you're not. Now that you have
or whatever.
You are.
I think it is $550. Yeah.
Now that you, I was thinking about rookies. I don't know why. You're just a rookie in my eyes, Dave.
I'm no rook, buddy.
So now that you figured out that you could just write it down, now it's irrelevant. But we are working on getting at least team personnel access to a channel that tells you when a subscription expires. Whether it's it's somebody on your team or whether it might be your own, right? Getting access to that channel, because of the technology, Discord is one tech, and then the bot is another tech, and they have to work with each other in order for us to build features and things like that. So a lot of that stuff's a little bit out of our hands, but we're working on getting that channel. The reason why we haven't necessarily made it available yet is because it's kind of like a privacy thing where like somebody loses their subscription, or somebody's subscription expires, what do people do with that information, right? Do they abuse that information? Is there, do people start getting on people in maybe a little bit of a creepy way, right? We just have to, before we push that update, we want to make sure that we've kind of thought about all the different ways that this can be exploited or abused, and don't want to put anybody in any kind of awkward position. So in regards to being able to check, don't do progression Tuesday night at 11:30. Right. And personal accountability.
That's right. Personal responsibility.
And as individuals, if individuals, need, hey, I can't remember when it expires. Can you let me know? I can go and individually look. I just can't do that for, 40 players at a time. So, yeah, if somebody, really is feeling like, nervous about it, we can look it up one by one, account by account on the back end. But otherwise, yeah, it just comes down to accountability.
Yeah. I kind of figured the personal responsibility one as I was asking you the question, but I figured I'd throw it out there anyway.
Before I forget, I have to say the reason why the promo for TV has not come out yet is because it has the potential new Charleston quarterback in it.
Okay.
But it also has one glorious representative, and I think Lone Star will really love the clip that I pulled from.
Hold on one second. Let me
from historical findings.
Make sure my eyebrows look good. Okay.
Has nothing to do with your eyebrows. It may have something to do with a robe. I'm not sure.
Oh, snap. A robe and hopefully a Chardonnay and a cardboard hat. But Mike, Albert, Charles, anybody got anything else for Cam before we wrap this shindig up?
I was going to say really quick, Cam, that you know how important subscriptions can be for some people, judging by what happened to somebody here at the household last Sunday.
Whoa. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get. Mike All. There's your story for next week, bro.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be talking about the hall hold.
Apparently, Charles, what were you about to say?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the topic, but that's how I roll.
Shocker.
Cam, when do you think the league's gonna make an announcement on where the convention's gonna be held?
Ooh,
so glad you asked that.
I'm sure you are.
Right here on this show. No, sorry, Dave.
Here we go.
It is painful. Every day is a failure that I don't have this secured, but it's not my fault. I am trying something big, and it's an incredible once in a lifetime venue. But when you
don't say cruise, because we won't be able to get our progression.
It's not. No. It's not a cruise. It's not a cruise. But no, it's just because the venue has so many events in it. It's having to get a specific date at a specific rate. I'm also working with television because television is interested in broadcasting the event, which we have not had. Next Level Sports would be on site potentially, with their own interview desk and, doing everything on site. So logistically, it is just, it's just a lot. There's a lot more challenges. But
the date's still the same?
The date could fluctuate depending upon availability, but I'm not exactly sure of the finalized date because of the venues.
Okay.
Basically, the venue has a very large client that has a hold on specific dates that fall into our window, and if that ends up happening, then we would have to shift our dates. If it doesn't end up happening, then we wouldn't have to shift our dates. But we don't have an answer yet on if it's happening or not. That was supposed to come this week. So, we're just kind of, I'm very antsy. I sent another email today saying, like, could you please give me your quote so I can start working on this.
Gotcha. Anybody else? Anything else for Cam?
It's Square Garden.
I mean,
you know that's
that.
funny, Bo. Not Madison Square Garden, but I actually talked to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, where the Predators play.
Yeah.
And I basically said, hey, how can we show our games on the Jumbotron? Right? How can we pull the
one outside, right?
No, in the arena. How can we pull it down to the floor, right, and watch it on jump? And they said, well, you can for $80,000.
Oh.
And I said, all right, see you later.
So everybody get your subscriptions in.
50,000 more players.
Dude, they have a screen. Hey, Cam, they have a screen outside too.
I'll have to look into that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's right on the street where people stop and watch the games and stuff.
I will look into that. I have plan B's, C's, D's, and E's all over this country, but there's one particular venue that is just perfect. So, I'm hoping to secure that.
Okay.
Is that my house? Because we can make this work right now.
I was thinking of Mike St. Green's house, but yeah.
You have so many rooms, Mike, that I'm sure.
So many rooms in his house. Awesome. All right, Cam, thanks for jumping in and responding so quickly so we could get the answer about the subscription thing. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know who else to ask at this point, and figured I'd just go straight to the top. So appreciate you coming in.
And that's Albert in the bottom corner, right?
Yeah, he just had some back injury today or something, so he's literally in bed doing the show.
Okay, you got a national TV game against the defending champs who just keep winning. Don't give me. I don't need a blowout on my hands. Let's have a good game for national television.
First of all, you need to give Baltimore more respect than that. I don't know that we're going to necessarily blow them out.
Cam, there's a sponge bath in 15 minutes. If you stay on.
Okay. Tina's been putting it on hold since you came on the air. So
get out of here, really?
If we don't wrap
now, that's the first class entertainment that I expect from Road to Glory.
To move him to the center screen where my call is.
No,
you're gonna have to do more with that chip bag, Mike, if you're gonna want to stay in the center screen.
Whoa! No, don't ask him that again. We already missed. Yeah, we already had to cut him off twice this season. So. Yeah. All right. Cam, thanks for popping on. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Mike All,
see you guys.
Any last words on everything we just talked about before you bounce?
I think we had a good discussion there, Dave. And you know what, Dave? The bag is empty, Dave.
Shit. That's the first time. That's the first time this segment went so long. Dude, we're at 2 hours and 11 minutes right now. For an hour and 15-minute show, that's pretty good.
It is. It was a great conversation we just had, Dave.
Great. All right, Mike, thanks for bringing it up. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Can't wait to see what you got in store for us next week, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, see ya. All right, folks, that is all dat and a bag of chips, and that's all dat for the show. Let's wrap this up like we do every week. First and foremost, every single week, we like to remind everyone to go to findourmissing.com, Evans Hope, or to the Facebook page, Find Our Missing Evans Hope. If you have any information on Evan Lacey's missing on the 1217, found on 1-3, anything related to his killer, any information, or if you need information, you can go to there as well. Also, like we always mention, here at Lone Star, we have a lot of veterans on our team. We pay homage to veterans and to the military, and especially to Objective Zero, who we've been now in partnership with for 3 seasons. And we love the work that they do, connecting veterans and trying to save lives of veterans who are contemplating suicide. Special thanks to the following people: Ace Fennick, Bo Martin Jr., Frank the Franchise, Wade, Gunny, Bullet, Nate, Yogi, Mike, Freddie, who you're about to hear from here momentarily. Mexico City Aztecs, I did actually finally hear from Ramos. He was running late. He got back to me, but we were just going too long. We couldn't squeeze him in. And
hey,
then,
Dave?
Of course, to T-Pat, yes.
Can you put up the Freddie picture when he sings?
Yes, I will. And then what's on tap next week? We will recap our game against Baltimore this week. We'll hopefully have some more Baltimore peeps on. And we'll preview our Week 8 game against the Lycans, have some guests on from there, and you'll have the usual Gunny, Frank, Mike, all bullet points, Freddie coughing in my ear, Nate's great plays. What's up down south?
He's getting the pipes ready.
He's obviously getting all the pipes. So there's Fab 56 Freddy's farewell.
Oh, not that one.
picture. No, I know, bro. Hold on, I got to get back over there. And then, first of all, Freddie, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Y'all cracking me up, and I love y'all all. I mean, so much. Charles, I know this is all you're doing.
It's just one of those shows. All right, Freddie, it's all yours. Take us home, buddy.
But I expect to see this in the locker room so I can make a copy of it and put it in.
Not a problem, bro. Not a problem.
All right, so here we go. Oh, Dandy Don. Here we go. Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. We'll call it a night. The party's over. Until next week, where we'll do the same old thing again. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. And you can go to lonestore.myspreadshop.com to get that Freddie t-shirt he's wearing underneath that
Flying
white
off the
tuxedo.
shelves.
It is flying off the shelves, folks. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Freddie, thank you for that. Appreciate everyone being on the show. Appreciate everybody sticking around with us on an extra long Road to Glory that went 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thanks to Cam for popping on at the last minute. Thanks to T-Pat for just an outstanding interview. Thanks to everybody that I already said thanks to on the last graphic.
Thanks to Albert for showing up with his back problems.
Thanks to Albert, who had nothing better to do than lay there in bed anyway.
Never did get the question asked how many interceptions Bo Martin has.
Oh,
I
you know, I'll have
Gunny
to.
just
Yeah.
died to know.
Always only one on the season.
I'll have to check it. I'm pretty sure he's got at least 11 or 12, so I'll double check it. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. This was ride number 6 on the Road to Glory. We'll be back next Wednesday to recap our game against Baltimore and preview our game against the Lycans, as well as having all the normal segments. And God knows what will happen. Which of the Lone Star Glory will be modeling some sort of gear from the store next week. Thank you again. We'll see you next Wednesday right here on this Twitch channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a glorious week and good night now.